All right, we are going to continue with exercise 17. This is the tracing exercise. We're actually going to be doing some fashion sketching. So let me go ahead and show you what I'm expecting you guys to do. So I'm hoping that you'll be able to create a design like this, but it's going to be a whole lot easier because I'm going to provide you with one image and you're going to be tracing over that image. So let me go to Illustrator. All right, so I'm going to provide you with this image here. Make sure your layers are showing. So go to your layers, make it visible. And while you're on this layer, what we are going to do is click on this here, and you're going to make this image a template because we're going to use this as a template to design the same dress or the same outfit. So click on template and it fades that out a little bit. Now, let me just zoom out so you can see the full picture. So this is what we are going to sketch, the jacket and the skirt. And now we're going to create a layer to start tracing. Our first layer is going to be the jacket. And let's just go ahead and start with this. So zoom into the jacket when you're tracing the jacket so that you can see exactly what you're doing. And this is an actual sketch. So we are going to start with the outline first, and then we are going to get deeper and deeper into the details. Okay, so let's go ahead and start. So I'm gonna choose my pen tool. I'll make the fill, select no fill, and then for the tracing, we're gonna have black selected. We have, okay, we're on this layer, and we're going to make the stroke 2 points. Okay, so I'm gonna start with the jacket. At this first instance, just ignore the collar. We're going to do that later. And just do the main outlines of the jacket, okay? Okay, I'm gonna click on escape to get out of this. So I did one side of the jacket. Now I'm gonna continue with the other side of the jacket. So again, I'm gonna ignore the collar for the first time and select here. Now I'm gonna continue going over here. Okay, so we're done with this. Now I'm gonna create another layer and we're gonna call them the sleeves. We can say right sleeve or left sleeve. Let's do the right sleeve on this one. I'm going to speed this up a little bit. Okay, my right sleeve is done, so I'm gonna make the left sleeve. Make sure you're on the left sleeve and you're drawing the left sleeve. So for this, for now, just ignore all the inner lines. We're doing just the outlines here. And try to curve where you need to curve. Just ignore all the lines. Okay, so we're done with the left sleeve. And now let's do the collar. I'm going to do the top part separately. And what we can do with this is, you know, if you want to paint them to different colors, you'll be able to do that. So we are done with the basic outline. Now what we are going to do is I'm going to create another layer and we're going to call this the details. Okay. So for the details, we're going to have these lines and then we are going to add the pockets and everything. But I want to reduce my stroke to 1 point. Okay. So we're gonna actually, I don't like that. We go over that. Obviously, at this point, you could also use brushes. Okay, now, oh, wait a minute. I did everything on the colors instead of details. So it's important that you get on your exact layer. So what I'm going to call this is color and detail, because it looks like I don't have anything on the detail, do I? Nope. I'm going to delete. I'm actually not going to delete that layer. I'm just going to call this buttons. So we're going to have buttons on this layer. So for that, I can use the circle or ellipse tool. Now, if you want to make perfect circles, if you guys remember, you know, like you can just draw an ellipse with this, but if you want to make a perfect circle, you just hold the shift key and then create your ellipse. Okay. So I'm going to go here and try to hold my shift key and make a button here. And what I can do is I can copy paste this, or another trick is you can hold the shift key and the option key. And oops, sorry, hold on. And go to this shift option. And it just makes a copy of that. So again, when you're on the selection tool, you just go to your button, hold the shift key and the option key. If you're on a PC, you have to hold the shift key and the alt, and it just, you drag it and it just makes you another copy. Okay, so here I hold shift and option and I drag this. Okay, that way your buttons are. We have two more buttons here, so I'm just gonna make a copy paste version. And we'll get one right here. This is a little more elliptical, so you can always kind of move it to be more ellipse here. We have some lines we have to draw on the details, so I'm gonna go into this. Again, our buttons happened all on the color and detail part as well. So I'm gonna go to the color and detail. I'll delete the buttons. It didn't really work. You have to watch which layer you're on. I wasn't watching, so it just kind of did everything on that same layer. So we are for sure on that detail layer. And I'm going to continue with my details here. We have to draw this line here. Now we have these lines to draw. Of course, we could also do those lines a little bit thicker. That way, it would be more similar to the image. So if you want to see how your design looks like, what you can always do is just get rid of this layer and you'll see, I mean, it looks pretty good, I have to say. All right, so now we can go ahead and color these. So we can go to our selection and we'll be able to select each piece separately. So this piece we can select. And we are going to select the fill for this. So let's do greenish color. Okay. And then we're going to select this section. I'm going to make it slightly like this color. Okay, I'm gonna do this part as well, the same color. So we have that, and it looks pretty good. So now we're going to do the skirt. We thought it was done, but it's not. We have to do the whole outfit. So we're going to do the same thing again. Just make sure you don't have any fill. And then your stroke can be 2 points. And we're going to use our pen tool here. Now let's just create a new layer all the way on the top though. Okay, and I'm going to call this the skirt layer, and hopefully this time, let me lock everything so that I don't use the other layers by accident. Okay, so I have the skirt layer. We have the pen. Are we still on the skirt layer? Yes. Okay. So we kind of go like this, curve it out. Okay, now I'm gonna do the details on the skirt. Let me lock this. We make sure we are on here. Pen tool, and we are going to make these lines. Of course, you can always go to your stroke, maybe like make it much thinner and kind of outline all the little lines here as well. You can also use the line tool for this. We can change the thickness of your lines depending on how detailed you want to go. Okay, I think this is good enough. I've already been making a lot of details. Some of these I made connecting lines, so you may have to just fix those. And I'll go back to 2 here. I think the line tool is easier if you're just doing single lines. Okay, this is pretty good. So now we're going to take our skirt and select this. Okay, you want to make sure your skirt is not locked, because if it is, you won't be able to put a color onto it. So now let's just find a similar color. Let me just fix that first. So I'm gonna go to the skirt, get my pen tool, and fix these lines up. Okay, and then I'm gonna make that. Now on the skirt, we can create a fill, and we can do maybe this kind of color. Okay, now one thing we want to do on the skirt is we want to bring it back below the jacket. So what you want to do is you want to bring it, let me just unlock everything. Okay, so we bring it below the jacket. Okay, I don't know what happened to the fill on this, so let's just go ahead and select the fill. Okay, make everything invisible. On the original one, there are also some shades here, and we could do that if you want to. And to do that, you would just fill that section with some kind of color, like a darker color. Create another layer, call it shades. And on this one, what I can do is I'm going to create a fill for this that is a little bit darker. Okay, so maybe toward that color here, like a darker green color. And then I'm going to go here, like that. Go like that. You know, kind of create that shade if you want to. And you can also change the opacity to be like this, so that it's a shade, and then stroke should probably be a very small stroke. Okay, now you have created some shade as well. Make sure you change your stroke. Yeah, that's much better. So you can see that, you know, you can do a lot of things here. The opacity is 100 here, so we're going to change it to like 49, which was what we had on the other one. So you can see the shades, you can see the outfit. I mean, this looks pretty good to me. So if I just made that invisible, you know, it just looks good. And I'm going to go ahead and save it. I'm going to save this as exercise 17, tracing exercise, and we are done.